It's 45 days remaining before we get to the 13th of August general elections. Welcome to the Monday edition of the Lunch Table, coming to you live from various platforms also that believe that they're the best suited to run this country. Dr. Brian Mushimba from the Organized People's Party. Doc, Mr. President, glad that you found time to be here in a very busy period.
Yes, just coming from Wapula, about to do more activities, more campaign activities here in Lusaka. I'm glad I'm here. Good afternoon, viewers, and good afternoon to you, Paul.
Thank you so much. First of all, as a starter, Organized People's Party, quite a shocker, first of all, for a number of people that have followed you closely, even from your days as cabinet minister, days as member of parliament. You know, this dream of being president has always been there.
I was told once that when you advance yourself and offer yourself to be of service to the country, and by human nature, there are elements of ambition beyond offering that service. So me being a member of parliament, me being in cabinet, sitting next to the president, human nature tends to lead yourself to think and explore possibilities, and here we are.
Great. That's good to know. When people, saw that after you left office, after PF lost government, they saw you disappear for a while. Was that on purpose?
Yes,
you didn't choose to remain here.
I call myself not as a career politician. In fact, when I left my job in 2016, I was a technical director for ESCOM in South Africa, working for a branch of ESCOM that was overseeing their expansion agenda. So I was based in Uganda quite often during that period. And when I left that employment and I went to run for Member of Parliament in Kankoyo, it was because we were trying to do some activities in Kankoyo, that's where I'm from, trying to give back, trying to donate something here, something there, build a orphanage for your school that you went to. And we started having challenges with those philanthropic activities because of the powers that be, and realized that we needed a platform to operate from. So I, without design, realized that I needed a political platform to be able to impact my community where I'm from. And I had to run to get that political platform. So after 5 years of being an MP, an impact MP by our measure, if you ask anyone in Kankoyo, being a cabinet minister for 5 years, firstly as Minister of Transport and Communications, reviving Zambia Airways under my watch, going to higher education, reopening institutions that were closed when I moved to higher education to go and stabilize things. There were riots before I went there, so I was moved to make sure that I opened dialogue with students and lecturers and everyone. So it was an impact 5 years as a member of parliament and as a minister. And at the end of my tenure with PF, I was disillusioned because of the things that were happening in PF. And many of those things are the things that made PF lose in 2021. So I felt a bit of vindication because of those things that we spoke against internally within PF that were not addressed, and people punished PF for it. So I thought it was time to step away. And I'm probably the only one who sat in that cabinet who wished the incoming president well, President HH, to say, Zambians have spoken. You are now our leader. Please lead us. When you succeed, we all succeed.
You wished him well.
I wished him well because a rising tide lifts all boats. And I wanted him to succeed because if he succeeds, we all succeed. And I stepped away because, like I said, I'm not a career politician. I went back to being an engineer. I took a job and away I went back to work. Then, 3 years into it, I start getting some feelings that this was not a change people voted for. This is not the direction that people asked. This is not what HH promised. What has gone wrong? And there's an urgency in this country that we need to understand. We've been independent 62 years, 7 presidents. We should not be having mothers giving birth on the roadside. We should not be going to hospitals without drugs. We should not having a child go to sleep hungry. In this country, 62 years after independence, 7 presidents, with the amount of wealth we sit on, in mineral wealth, in youth and the vibrance of the youth, in the raw materials, the nature that's been given to us, rivers, the sun. We are blessed as a country, and we have not organized ourselves well. I thought UPND government to address many of the fundamental things that the country we're looking for, unite us, heal the nation, put us on the right path. I don't think that has happened, and a collection of us, like minds, came together to say, let's create an alternative, because we knew that the opposition was disorganized, was destabilized. You can blame anyone you want to blame. It's neither here nor there, but we felt a new vehicle was needed to give citizens an alternative, and that's how the Organized People's Party was formed, and that's how we have advanced ourselves with a very unique agenda of resetting this country once and for all by addressing the fundamental issues, the systemic issues at the root cause, so that we address them permanently in our lifetime.
Some have indicated and wondered how you managed to convince someone that stood as president 5 years ago to be your vice.
I think we had conversations, and
for the viewers, I'm talking about Anford Banda.
Correct.
Yes.
We had conversations because the Organized People's Party is a collection of like minds, a lot of people behind this project, and we had conversations about the state of the country and where we want to go as a country. And I think when you listen to our proposition, even our manifesto and our agenda for the country, any patriotic citizen, any Zambian who loves this country dearly and at that level and is concerned with the direction of the country, they would also answer that call and be part of the ticket. So I'm glad that he answered the call and we're running together.
What makes you believe or think that it is you that Zambia needs at this point, at this juncture? What makes you confident that right now the 20 plus million Zambians need you and not any other person?
Correct. So we've been independent 62 years and lots of missed opportunities along the way. Systemic challenges that have been with us for a long time. Infrastructure deficit, not enough clean water, not enough sewer in some of these unplanned urbanites. Agriculture that still remain almost in disarray and subsistence. So there are certain things about how we've organized ourselves that has not rendered itself to the prosperity that we can have as a country. And we feel all the successive governments have been addressing symptoms and not the root cause of where the challenges are. We, as the Organized People's Party, the OPP, we are the only party running in these elections that are offering a hard reset of this country so that we can change direction and start rebuilding this country with the right material, with the right foundation, with the right blueprint, by the people that know. That will be answerable to the people.
When you say a hard reset, what exactly do you mean? There are some of my viewers right now watching from Kalingalinga, from Tende, and when they hear hard reset, that sounds foreign. What in practical terms?
It means we are heading in the wrong direction. Cost of living continues to go up. Unemployment continues to be with us. Insala Makombon continues to be with us. Unequal distribution of the country's cake continues to be with us. Division continues to be with us. Tribalism continues to be with us. Regionalism and many other divisions. This is not the Zambia that our ancestors envisioned. of the economy and owning the economy. The only way we prosper ourselves is when Zambians take ownership of their country and its direction. How we're going to do that, back to the 4 million jobs, is we have two revolutions that we're speaking to: agricultural revolution and industrial revival. Both of them, the reason citizens have not participated in both of those is lack of capital, lack of money, so they can scale. We are creating, as a matter of priority when we form government, regional banks across every province of this country to start the agricultural revolution, so that regional banks, so that government puts money where people are, puts capital where people are, so that the borrowing and the financing is made accessible to the citizens. Through a government program, 10,000 medium-scale farmers will be identified under agricultural revolution, for example, under maize cultivation. 10,000 medium-scale farmers with government money, with government muscle and strength, with the citizens, 10,000 of them. Each one will be given 100 hectares to cultivate. Each one of those 100 hectares will need 50 employees. That's 500,000 jobs created. Government has provided funding, is promoting the medium-scale farmers, is bringing all the equipment that's required for mechanization, for irrigation, so that this agriculture is not seasonal. It's year-round.
Someone
$500,000 jobs created. Cotton, we've opened the Mulungushi textiles. We don't have cotton, enough of it, at least from my last check. There are 4 provinces where cotton can be cultivated. We want to go back to those 4 provinces. Again, through a government program, identify medium-scale farmers, give them 1 hectare of land each to cultivate cotton, and in 3 years, we're going to have 1 million tons of lint produced. Lint will be processed from its raw form into garments by Mulungushi and every other industry that will be created around this. 2.4 million jobs just from that, cotton industry. Before we even crush the seed for cooking oil and seed cake for animal feed. 2.4 million jobs created. I can go on to fisheries. I can go on.
Someone listening to this program who just came in the country, and has not been in the country for 5 years or so, might be very amused with what you're saying. Someone that has been in the country, on the other hand, will say, but what you're saying is what maybe this administration has been doing. You're talking about farmers. There's a fertilizer program. Let me just finish my thought. There's a FISIP. There's a CASIP now that is under the Ministry of Agriculture. Someone will say, look, what government program is the doc mentioning when we have CEC? To the point that this administration has even put up a ministry called SMEs to focus on the farmers. Someone might even add to say, but look, we have grants under CDF that is helping farmers. So when you say government program, are you not cognizant of the fact that these are also existing?
They are not enough. That's the reason we find ourselves in this situation. That's what I'm saying. When you've been treating symptoms and not the root cause, you are going nowhere. I'm an engineer by training. I'm a systems approach type of guy. I look at a situation and get to the root cause and start building solutions from there. What government has been doing is not enough. That's why we're still food insecure. That's why we're still energy insecure. That's why we're still infrastructure insecure. It is not enough.
Is it true what we're saying food insecure when we are, getting to a second bumper harvest in a
my people in Mtendere are having 1 meal a day. That is the reality on the ground. Let government not lie to itself that we are food insecure. People are hungry in compounds. The cost of living is crushing people. So what I'm saying is, with this government program of government going back to do work with people in a structured manner, with government providing financing, capacitating and promoting at this level, in that manner, jobs are created. 4 million of them in just the raw primary production out of our land. There's a secondary industry. When we make maize, when we cultivate maize for local consumption and export, when we get cotton for the cotton value chain, when we go into animals, feed animals, fatten them, then meat processing, when we go to fisheries, we stock rivers and lakes, all with government taking a front row seat, identifying Zambians to work with, promoting them, capacitating them, financing them. The jobs get created at the primary level. Then the secondary level is processing. All our raw materials have to be processed. That's another second layer of jobs. When we say 4 million minimum jobs in 5 years, that's what we're talking about. The good part of this is this. These 4 million jobs are guaranteed by government because government is putting money there and government is working with people for the first time. They are good paying jobs. What that means is disposable incomes of people, they have money. When people have money, 4 million citizens have no money, lots of it in their pockets because they're working and they're being paid well. Guess what? They have to spend that money. Where would they spend that money? They'll need goods and services. The demand they'll put on the goods and services will create entrepreneurs that will enter that space to create and offer those goods and services that now citizens with money want to buy. It means the economic activities start increasing. It means the tax base start increasing. It means now that the market forces will take on. The efficiencies of the markets will come into play. Because when you have many entrepreneurs providing goods and services to these many jobs and many good paying jobs and citizens wanting to spend their money, competition means efficiencies. Efficiencies means cost of living long term even start going down before even government does anything else. That's what we're proposing. There's no one in these elections who's speaking like that. What government is doing is not enough. When you say hard reset, it's a recognition that what government is doing is not working for everyone. You mentioned CDF. Do you know what is happening to CDF right now? They increased it to 40 million per constituency. And the cadres we used to see in markets and bus stops, they have gone into constituencies and they formed cooperatives. And they're getting loans.
Is it a bad thing?
They're getting loans they're not paying back. Money is being abused. I was an MP. We were receiving 1.6 million kwacha pay per year with 2 staff members in my constituency office and the council helping with procurement. By the time we identify a project, design it, specify it, and go for procurement with red tape and everything, every inefficiency in government today, many times we fail to spend that 1.6 million. Central government will come and mop it back because we couldn't spend it. Now, they've increased it almost 40 times without increasing the systems and the infrastructure to spend it. It's now open to abuse. It's being abused. We have youths that are ready to work and we are wasting money that way. If we did this, let me just finish this thought. If we understood what people need and if government prioritize the right things, such as addressing unemployment, that 40 million per constituency could have been given to Zambia National Service. Allow Zambia National Service to buy all the equipment they need. District by district, they have a footprint. They are military precision, military discipline, military orderliness. They will create a standard on every project that needs to be built. There are not enough ZNS officers. When you give them that type of money, they will go in the street. They will hire everyone that needs a job. Train them into being bricklayers, being technicians, being welders, being all these fields. And district by district, constituency by constituency, ZNS will have a standard of a project. They are military. There will be no abuse or corruption. And we have a uniformity in how we are developing a country. We can't develop a country in such a structured manner by putting money in constituency and then leave it.
What's your plan if you become president with regards to CDF?
It's a good program. It has a place to play. But what we are proposing under a hard reset is a government structured development that is central and then decentralized. We need to understand that to clean up unplanned settlements, it requires government thinking at that central level with the right blueprint, with the right designs, and then decentralize this across the country and monitor how development is being done. We can't leave development. So
you still maintain it, but just change?
And there are many good things government does, and many of them have been well thought through. There will be adjustments to them. Those that needs to be done away will be done away with. Those that are being abused will lock those opportunities for abuse, so there's no abuse. But by and large, what we're proposing with a hard reset is a government taking a central role in the economy, in infrastructure development, in capacitating its citizens, so citizens can once and for all take over their country, their economy, and will prosper the nation that way. There's no country on earth that has prospered when its citizens were bystanders.
There's a message on Facebook. One of the viewers is following the conversation, Kashila. He says, that's what the problem is. Everyone wants to reset the country. What's wrong with us building on the foundation that has been laid? I think we are headed in the right direction. Sorry, I can't believe you. You're a liar.
Well, again, the results are there for of us to see. You know, we are 62 years since we gained independence, and over 60% of us are still living in poverty. 62 years after independence, over 60% of us are living in poverty. I travel this country, and I see the opportunities that are missed. I see the mothers that are crying for help. I see citizens not being seen by government. What I'm saying is, what we've been doing is not enough. And in our lifetime, if we're going to a first world infrastructure, if we're going to end hunger, if we're going to end energy deficit, if we're going to move people out of shanty compounds where there's no running water and there's no sewer, we cannot continue with minimal adjustments and minimal improvements. We need a hard reset that says we've been going in the wrong direction. Here's a government program over the next 20 years or 25 years. This is how we're going to build our country, one block at a time, and here are the professionals and experts that are going to do that. That's what we're proposing.
Someone may say, but you were part and parcel of the Patriotic Front cabinet that people assume messed up the economy. How different can you be now? Why should people trust you now when they remember that you were part and parcel of the inner circle of the Patriotic Front?
I would say that people that may come to that conclusion specifically about me, they don't know who Dr. Brian Mushimba is. When I came into Kankoyo to want to run in 2016, I didn't belong to any party. Like I said, I'm not a politician. I didn't belong to any party. And when I went to Kankoyo, no, I'm an engineer. I've been building electricity and energy available. And PF, in their wisdom, they said they needed to change the image of the party by bringing in professionals, engineers, and experts. So they adopted me in that context. But I had challenges in PF.
Your challenges in PF.
Challenges. By the time I was trying to tackle issues of cadres in public spaces, especially bus stops, I called a meeting of fellow ministers to say, we can't continue this. I'm Minister of Transport, and I'm struggling to even take my mother to the bus stop because of the unruliness of our cadres, hooliganism in our bus stops. We left that meeting. Before I even got home, I was being threatened in PF blogs. They'll eat my children. They'll come and attack my wife. And you know what pained me? And this is 2020. Maybe 20. No. This is a little before 2020. Do you know what pained me though? Was when I was told to beef up my security because of those threats, versus arresting those making threats. So the commanders making threats against a cabinet minister are protected. The minister is told to beef up security. And as if they were bluffing, 2 weeks after that, they broke into my house. A minister's house being broken in with many layers of security. I was totally disillusioned. And that's when, for me, I could not continue in that marriage. And I wrote to the president to give me extended leave so I can go and reflect. And I was thinking the president would call me. May he so rest in peace. And I'm glad the issues have been resolved now, so we can honor him and put him to rest. I thought the president would call me to say, why are you asking for extended leave? He just approved it. He approved 3 months leave. So I was surprised. I thought he would call me to say, can you come and talk? So he probably was briefed on the challenges I was having in PF. And when the 3 months ended, I wrote back to say, I'm not ready to come to work. He gave me 3 more months. Until December 2020 when I came back, because we had to vote on bills. One of the bills I had a problem with, Bill 10. In the spirit of collective responsibility, publicly I supported it. And I was speaking positive about it because away from the public, I had concerns that I was channeling in the right spaces. And if those were addressed, I would vote for it. Those things were not addressed. And when the bill came to Parliament, I was one of the 6 that didn't vote for it. Probably the only cabinet minister who didn't vote for it. And that is my exit out of PF.
So despite being minister,
now
you still voted against Bill?
Now, yes. You can scream in the back. If the driver wants to go left or right, they'll go left or right, however much you scream. And that's why I've said, the state of this country, how we find ourselves here today, cannot be, any blame or credit cannot be put on anyone except those 7 men that have been presidents, because they've been the drivers. And I'm advancing myself as to be a driver because we have an agenda to reset the country. The country is not working for everyone. Citizens don't feel seen or heard. We want to go back to work with the people, to be with the people, to give this economy back to the people, for people to be united, for the country to heal, for everyone to feel seen and heard. And the other thing that we're proposing as OPP, that others are not proposing, when we create these jobs that we're talking about creating, when we start the infrastructure, redevelopment and development we're speaking about, and close the infrastructure gap, provide food security to the people, provide clean drinking water to the people, provide a decent, normal living that everyone deserves for a country this rich, we will move those things into our constitution. The right to food, the right to education, the right to energy, the right to health care, all those things will be enshrined in the constitution. And government will have a responsibility to provide those things for its citizens. Any government, after OPP government, that does not do that, citizens will rise and sue that government.
My time is up, Doc, but Isaac ZM says, good afternoon, Paul. Your guest does make a very good point on ZNS. It must be turned into a skill training college from nursing to bricklayers. Chingandopu also says you have a very good plan for this country, but when you are given power, you forget all these plans. Lunde Simbe also says this is exactly what we need as a country. Of course, a few other more messages on Facebook. But as we wrap up and of course respond,
and I'm glad, by the way, that the messages you're reading are the messages we're getting across the country. There's this desire for a country that works for everyone. And when we speak to that, and the level of detail we're sharing, citizens are responding positively, and we're very, very happy that our message is landing.
What do you say to those, in closing, what do you say to those that are indicating that possibly you're being ambitious, running for the presidency? Others have gone ahead and indicated that, well, Dr. Brian Mushimba is actually a non-entity in this race, but he should have possibly run maybe first as a member of parliament again, to see whether he's still popular, in Kankoyo. What do you say to such?
I've been a member of parliament before, and I've been a full cabinet minister before, for 5 years. The cabinet is the highest government organization. Outside cabinet, if you have ambition, then you go for the presidency. I feel with a collection of my team in OPP, we have great ideas for this country. And we need these great ideas to be implemented now, because we want a country in our lifetime that's going to work for every citizen, for citizens to feel seen, for citizens to feel heard, and for citizens to live a certain standard of living that is guaranteed by a government. We have not had that. And me as an engineer, I'm putting my skills, systems approach skills, to work for this country, to redevelop this country, to develop this country, to move the economy to the people, to finally take ownership of our economy, ownership of our wealth, and capacitate citizens so that they have a country that works for them. And I'm asking that citizens consider voting for me, Engineer Dr. Brian Mushimba, on August 13th, 2026, because this country will go into a revolution of development of an unprecedented level under our leadership.
Who's funding you?
That's a good question. Is that something that
the viewers would like to know? Some of your supporters would like to know.
Well, we have people that are supporting us. I've worked, like I said, 25 years as an engineer, much of that in an international space, working as an expatriate engineer. You know how expatriate engineers make good money, making $50,000 a month, for example, for 25 years. Can you imagine what type of liquidity that is?
$50,000 a month. Yeah,
for 25 years.
25 years. You've been making that?
So we have
somewhere in that range.
We have well-wishers, and
you must be a rich man.
Resources.
You must be a rich man.
I'm from Kankoyo, the most vulnerable parts of the country. That's where I come from. I'm a compound kid, and through opportunities by government, I trained as an engineer. And yes, I've done well with my career. And these are the opportunities that now have been closed out. Citizens don't feel seen. They don't have these opportunities that we had. And the OPP government, my president, wants to give citizens these opportunities we were given.
Dr. Brian Mushimba, thank you so much for finding time to come through on today's edition of The Lunch Table.
Thank you very much.
We can only wish you the best. I know that this afternoon, in the next hour or so, you have an event. Please talk about it.
Yes, we do a road show in Mandevu, Roma constituencies, so it's going to be rowdy and lots of people, lots of our supporters, and the message is resonating very well across the country, so we're very happy and very excited. We'll shock people on August 13th.
You shock people?
Yes.
Good. You see yourself winning the president?
Oh, yes. We will not be running.
You see yourself winning the president?
We've defined a path to victory among all scenarios. And we are systems-based people. We have very smart people looking at this in a very scientific way and piecing our votes together. We'll shock people.
You believe you will win the presidency?
Yes. We will not be running. Let's have this conversation on August 14th.
Talk about the award under a minute. You are receiving an award in the next week or so.
Yes, I'm being recognized by the African Leadership Council. Former President of Tanzania, Dr. Kikwete, will be there, probably present the awards to us. Essentially, African leaders look at Africans that are making impact and making positive impact across Africa. And my 25 years in the energy space, designing energy systems, reinforcing infrastructure so that electricity could be delivered, has been caught the eye of the leaders across Africa, and they've identified me and they're awarding me this leadership award very soon here. And I feel very honored that my work in the small space, in the small corner, just a lowly kid from Kankoyo, being recognized this way on this stage, I am very, very humbled by that recognition.
Thank you so much. Tony in the comment section says you are winning.
Thank you very much.
As I wrap up today's edition of On the Lunch Table, I had Dr. Brian Mushimba, Organized People's Party presidential candidate, with 45 days remaining before the polls. We continue hearing from them. Then on the 13th of August, you, the Zambians, will be able to make an informed decision. Paul Shingongo is my name. Good afternoon.
Is one of the few moments where we all have a voice.
One person, one vote.
No titles, no